All right, boys. You got your coffee? You guys ready to do this thing live?
Let's go.
Much press this morning.
Who drinks coffee out of a straw? I do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play the advertise. This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io? Mixer streamers, you guys okay? You doing all right out there? I know there's 4 million of you trying to find a new home. So many of you thinking about going over to Twitch, of course. Probably a lot of you are going over to Twitch, but some of you were thinking about going to platforms you can actually grow on, such as Facebook Gaming and YouTube Gaming. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about best practices to transfer an audience from one platform to another platform. We've tried it in various capacities in our careers. We've helped creators do it. We've done it in a corporate capacity for companies and what have you. And we're going to give you realistic expectations on how much of your audience will actually move over to the other platform and all of the different techniques that you can use to get viewers to go over and for you to set yourself up for success. You guys ready? That was for you guys.
I'm ready.
All right, perfect. That was for you guys right there. Perfect. Let's do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Mixer right now. And as you can see, many people are running streams saying, go follow me on Twitch. I'm going to be over on Twitch. But there's a banner here for you to go to Facebook Gaming if you're interested in going to Facebook Gaming. And if you choose to go to Facebook Gaming, there's going to be a host of benefits for you here, namely for partners that decide that they want to transfer their partnership over and instantly monetize. You can go right here to Facebook Gaming. And so for those of you that want to make sure that you don't lose revenue in the meantime, you're already a partner, that may be the most viable option for you right now. And also Facebook Gaming is offering bounties if you give them a 90-day exclusivity as a partner. YouTube, on the other hand, isn't really offering anything to Mixer streamers. They're just saying, hey, come on over to YouTube. They didn't get the exclusive agreement. They didn't get bought out. They didn't buy out Mixer, rather. And so why are we recommending these two platforms? Why are we not today talking about transferring your audience over to Twitch? Well, I'll just kick that question over to you guys. Why would we recommend these and not recommend Twitch right now?
Because there's actual growth happening on Facebook Gaming and YouTube. I mean, we've run through the numbers countless times. Twitch, there is no organic traction and there's no algorithm to push you to get any sort of growth. You just have to stream and pray that someone stumbles upon it on Twitch, which is not a great strategy. On Facebook, there's an algorithm that will, and there's strategies that actually get you organic growth. Like people will actually come in and watch your stream without you just having to hope and cross your fingers. Same with YouTube. Also, the supply-demand ratio that we always talk about is really, really good on those two platforms. So Twitch, being the top juggernaut of a platform, doesn't need to incentivize any reason for you to come over as a smaller streamer or as really as an anybody streamer, unless you're already huge, in which case you're probably not watching this. So there's no reason to go to Twitch. They're not going to be putting together any sort of benefits for you, whereas Facebook Gaming is trying really hard to have some sort of benefits for small to medium-sized streamers to come to their platform. YouTube is not doing any of those things, but it has an algorithm that can push you. Pretty simple stuff, in my opinion.
It's very simple. Same thing is the case with YouTube, right? YouTube has the most robust algorithm for helping people get their content discovered. I don't need to tell you guys that. It's the only platform where you can just upload content and just grow if your content is good and you get clicks. That's why we're recommending this, because the majority of streamers that are on Mixer have low viewership or no viewership. And so if you want to grow, then you need to go where the growth is actually possible. Great. So let's talk about best practices to actually move your audience from one platform to another. Ross, I know that you obviously have a giant Twitter account with VGF Gamers. Gets billions of impressions each month for gaming. I know that you've also struggled in the past to try to transfer that audience to other locations, and you've also succeeded in some cases. So tell us about the things that didn't work when it comes to transferring audiences from one social media platform to another, and then tell us what did work for you in your experience.
Ooh, well, actually, there wasn't too much that worked when trying to take an audience from Twitter over to YouTube and whatnot. I'm actually doing that a little bit right now. And just for a frame of reference to show people how difficult it is, I don't mind sharing the numbers. The account gets right now at about 700,000 impressions per day. And when I promote a YouTube video or something like that, trying to get people to go over to YouTube, it maybe gets 8 clicks. So it's just a very difficult situation. So the best practice to actually do this, the one that I've had, while it's still very little success, the one that I've had the most practice with is just giving them the content up front. Like we've always talked about. If I'm trying to send them to an hour-long video, I'm going to take, 2 minutes and 20 seconds of the best clip from that video and put it up there and, and just honestly just keep hammering it home. But you got to give them something saying, hey, oh, by the way, I'm over on YouTube now. Nobody cares. That's just the general preface of it. Now, I think this actually may be easier, and I want to get your opinion on this, because from my standpoint, running this account, people, it's a tricky situation because people don't come to follow me for a podcast or for what I'm doing on YouTube, or they're following me because of the memes and the news and stuff like that. So from the perspective of a streamer, I feel like you would have much more success than I am because people are already following you for your streaming content. So I figure like it could probably, or at least it should be, a lot easier to use social media to your advantage to take whatever amount of your audience you can and kind of try to move it over to another platform. Because like I said, that's why they're following you in the first place.
That makes sense. So let's talk about Twitter in particular. So I think a lot of people use Twitter as an example of, I don't know, somewhere you can communicate links to, like I'm streaming live here or check out my YouTube video here. But in our experience, like you're saying, you have a Twitter account that's probably more engaged than all of our viewers combined, most likely. And so actually getting people to go from Twitter to another avenue, probably not going to work as a promotional method. And it's going to be similar with, folks that are streaming on Mixer and begging people to go over to Twitch or begging people to go over to Facebook Gaming or to YouTube. They probably aren't going to do it. I mean, in my personal experience and in destinations on YouTube and what have you, into different creators, at best, you can get a 20% audience conversion rate when you move from one platform to the next. Typical is about 10%. And so what I mean by that is if you were on Mixer getting about 100 average concurrent viewers, you'll probably get 10 of those to go over to any platform at all, no matter what promotional methods that you use. And so that's why we're talking about focusing on platforms that you can actually grow on, because you're going to have to from scratch this, no matter how good you are at it. I mean, take a look at Ninja. We've talked about this before. Ninja and Shroud, when they were on Twitch, Ninja was getting tens of thousands of viewers. Shroud was getting tens of thousands of viewers. And then once they both came over to Mixer, they got 6,000 to 8,000 viewers on average. And that's because mostly they were getting viewers that were already on Mixer, not their core audience. So even the mega celebrities struggle in the same way. So you need to stop thinking about how you can transfer your audience to another platform, because that's just not going to work very well. You need to be thinking about how you can establish a new home from scratch, build a new foundation, and then grow that from the ground up brick by brick. That's the way I think you should be thinking about this. I mean, Perrin, we just did an episode yesterday where you have been from scratching all of these different platforms and seeing which ones have growth or not. Do you think they should think about this in less of a transfer way and more of a brick by brick way? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I go back to our discussion on true fans and figuring out which fans of yours are the most hardcore or the most supportive, and those are the ones you want to bring over because those are the ones who are helping you the most, right? So you want to have strategies in place that you are communicating with them regularly, and you're helping make sure that those are the 10% that you do pull over, because they're going to be insanely important. One of the ways you can do that is just ask them, like, where are you going to go now that Mixer's done? What platform are you looking at going to? What are you thinking? How are you feeling about all of this stuff? What's your plan? Understand what their plans are, and then use that as part of your strategy. They're saying, I might check out Twitch, but I'm not really sure. and they just keep watching on Mixer right now. Keep streaming to Mixer until it dies. I mean, my plan is I'm restreaming, so I don't really lose anything by doing this. I'm streaming on Mixer until like the second they kill the servers as like an event type of thing. So I'm still getting new viewers coming in there right now, and also less competition on Mixer. And so it gives me a chance to directly talk to some of these users, figure out what they're doing, which I'd like to do for this podcast. I want to figure out like what Mixer viewers are doing, where are they going to go, and then kind of leverage that and say, hey, oh, if you're going to Twitch, I'm also over there. Oh, if you're going to YouTube, guess what? I'm also over there too. So just talk to them, talk to your truest fans, figure out how they feel about all of it, try to figure out where they're going to go, and be there for them. If you show that kind of support, you can probably keep them. And if you're going to keep any of your fans, you want to keep the most hardcore ones that actually support you. You want those to be your 10%.
I love that. I love that so much because, well, number one, you're engaging with your audience, which everybody needs to do more. And this is a great way. I mean, you're literally getting their opinion on what they think about what you're trying to do professionally. And that's very engaging. That shows that you're showing interest in your audience, especially with specific members. But I love what you said there. By just going on Restream and literally just streaming everywhere, when you ask them this question, be like, well, where are you guys going to go and Mixer shut down YouTube? Oh, well, guess what? I'm already there. I'm going to go over to, Facebook Gaming. Oh, well, what do you know? I'm already there. It's kind of a win-win scenario, but you're still showing interest in them at the same time. I love that. And I know we kind of hit on that the other day as well, but I think that's right now the smartest course of action.
Yeah, that makes sense. And another thing with Restream, so we're sponsored by Restream, as you guys saw from the pre-roll. There's a link in the description of this stream and also in our profiles if you want to get $10 off. But the reason why we use Restream is you don't have to, like you guys are saying, tell people to only go to one place. A lot of times people are doing, say, like, I'm doing a giveaway on Twitter. And then you see a lot of comments below there being like, I don't use Twitter, so I guess I can't participate in your giveaway. But if you did a giveaway on all platforms using a platform like Gleam, which is a giveaway platform that allows you to let people enter from Facebook and from Twitter and from Twitch and from YouTube, the more you can make yourself open to your audience on every single platform, the more power you have to transfer audience between all of those platforms. For example, whenever I live stream on my personal avenues, I have followers that have discovered me on YouTube, come check out what I'm doing over on Facebook Gaming, and then have discussions with me on Twitter. And it's just, me in the course of talking during my live streams, they find out that I'm on Twitter. People are like blown away when they watch my Facebook Gaming live streams. I'm not joking. When I say, yeah, I've got a YouTube channel. If you guys want to check out my videos, I've made about 1,000 videos there. They're like, what? You have a YouTube channel? People are really interested to follow you on other platforms if you just kind of talk about it organically. But if you're not on all platforms, then you're at a significant disadvantage. I want to show you guys a couple examples of creators that have successfully transferred audience from one platform to another. This example, which I currently have a black screen, so we'll see if it actually shows up, and it won't show up.
We're getting it on our end.
Oh, that's great. Because I'm sharing the screen with you guys, you know the audience can't see it. So anyway, M&J TV is a creator that has about 1 million subscribers. He's one of the biggest Pokemon YouTubers, and he gets about 200,000 to 300,000 views every single video, sometimes 500,000 to 600,000. And he decided about this time last year that he wanted to live stream, and we had a lot of debates with me coaching him on calls about which platform he should stream on. I was pushing Facebook Gaming a little bit. I was talking with him about maybe opening a second YouTube channel, but he ultimately decided to stream on Twitch because the monetization is more favorable on Twitch and the experience is better on Twitch. So when he just talked about how he live streams in a few videos on his channel, he was able to get an audience on Twitch instantly of like 500 to 1,000 concurrent viewers instantly like that, because he had already built an audience on YouTube and transferred it over to Twitch. Huge success, great example of transferring an audience to Twitch and it being a success. Keep in mind, this is a mega YouTuber that already had a massive audience. And the only transfer to Twitch audience examples that I've seen actually work are YouTubers that transfer their YouTube audience over to Twitch not social media stars that try to go from Instagram to Twitch. I've never seen anybody be able to transfer audience to Twitch unless they already had a YouTube audience to do so. And the reason why is that YouTube is such a different experience from Twitch. And a lot of folks in the gaming space definitely both have a YouTube account and a Twitch account. Those are two platforms that almost everybody has. Namely, everybody has a YouTube account if you're a gaming content fan, because 2 billion people are on YouTube and they're already probably watching daily YouTube videos. So that transfer from YouTube to Twitch works. But the transfer from any other platform to Twitch won't necessarily work, because the crossover, if you drew a Venn diagram, the crossover of Twitch with every other platform is very small. Whereas with YouTube, I would say the majority of folks that are watching streams on Twitch definitely have a YouTube account and are actually watching YouTubers. So keep that in mind. All you Mixer streamers out there that are thinking, I'm going to transfer my audience back over to Twitch. Are you? Are those actually Twitch viewers? Maybe they are. Some of them might be, but a lot of them maybe aren't. And that's one thing that you really have to take into consideration when you're going from smaller platforms to another smaller platform. And Twitch is a small, tiny platform in comparison to something like Facebook and YouTube. You get it? And so building a YouTube channel ultimately is the most powerful tool that you have as a creator if you want to be able to transfer your audience anywhere and build awareness of any platform anywhere at all. Because YouTube is a platform that most viewers, that most of our folks that are watching our show right now are on YouTube, will be actively engaging with your content there. So let's say the next TikTok opens up. Let's say you do want to go live stream on Twitch. Going from YouTube to any of those platforms will actually work. Whereas going from Twitter to that platform probably won't. TikTok to that platform, it won't. For example, we had Mr. Kasla on our podcast a few months ago, and he grew a TikTok account from 0 to 50,000 followers. And then he talked about how he tried to transfer that TikTok audience over to his YouTube channel, where he tried to transfer that TikTok audience over to live streams, and it didn't work. Because platforms like TikTok, even though they have like hundreds of millions of folks using them, and platforms like Twitch, they're just tiny platforms. They just, if the platform doesn't have billions of people on it, it's tiny when you're talking about audience transfer. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And also, I think one of the points, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, is people are following you on those platforms for those platforms. They're not following you sitting there curious, oh, I wonder if he's going to go over to YouTube or Twitch or something like that. That's just not how it works. They're following you because of what you're doing on that platform specifically.
Yeah, that makes sense. Of course. And so anyway, another example is MF Pallytime, another YouTuber, a mid-sized YouTuber with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And he ended up, he was live streaming on YouTube with us on TGN Squadron for about 4 years maybe, something like that. And then that initiative got shut down. And so he ended up doing the same thing as M&J TV, where he was able to transfer his YouTube audience over to Twitch successfully, where he now has hundreds of concurrents on Twitch. He wouldn't have been able to grow an audience on Twitch from scratch. That is almost impossible. And now that Mixer streamers appear to be primarily pouring into Twitch instead of any other platform, that's 4 million dead zombie bodies piling up in front of the walls. I use the World War Z analogy. The zombies are, all you can see is bodies everywhere, trying to climb that wall to get to the top, to get those viewers. And guess what? You're stuck at the bottom of a pile of 1 million zombies on Twitch trying to get to the top with no algorithm, no ladder to try to help you get to the top of that wall. It's nearly impossible. You're dead on arrival if that's your strategy. I'm going to bring my audience over to Twitch. Let's see how that goes. You're dead on arrival. So you need to be on platforms like Facebook Gaming and Twitch, or Facebook Gaming and YouTube, in order to actually build your audiences. Perrin, any other thoughts?
So I know we talked a lot about Facebook gaming and it being a pretty good place to go to, but we also don't know, it's really early on in Facebook gaming yet. So like right now there's organic traction and you can pick up audience there. We don't know lots of things like how transferable is that audience? You know, what is the long-term growth of the platform going to be like? Is this Mixer move actually going to break down some of the organic traction that you do have there, which it is very possible. So while things look good there, we actually have a lot of unknown things. There's a lot of question marks on that platform. So it's a way more risky of a choice, I would say. Whereas if you look at YouTube, we know pretty much everything going on over there. There's really not any unknown territory on YouTube. It's been around long enough. We know the algorithm well enough. It doesn't really change a whole lot. It's the safest play if you're looking for like mathematically or algorithmically the safest place to go after this, and you can only pick one. Yeah, YouTube is probably, in my opinion, the one that is the safest play. The more interesting and fun play is Facebook gaming, but the total 5-head play is restreaming to all of them and not having to worry about the choice at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's talk about ways that you can constantly make your audience on all platforms aware of what you're doing on all platforms. And so I want to bring up the question. This is really important, I think. Where should you be investing your time as a Mixer live streamer? And so I think the number one thing that a lot of streamers are thinking is, I need to stream a lot. That's what I need to be doing. That's how I'm going to grow. Let's answer that question first. So let's say as a Mixer live streamer, on average, you have 4 hours per day because you have a full-time job. Maybe you have kids, maybe you're in school, whatever it is. You have 4 hours per day to allocate to growing your dream and potentially going full-time. And you're thinking about, I'm trying to make this move to another platform happen. How should you be allocating those 4 hours per day that you have? What would your number one priority be? I'm asking you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perrin, you want to go first on this one? I feel like, go ahead and go first. I don't know why I asked you.
Yeah,
I
was thinking about it for a second. So I would split that in half, and I would say for me, I would stream for the 2 hours in the day. There's no need to stream for the 4 hours and use all of it for streaming. That would not be the most like optimal way to use that time. Spend the other 2 hours to get yourself set up on all of the platforms, to engage with all of your users through social, and to work on your branding. This is a transition period. This is a good time for you to improve your online presence. It's a good time for you to potentially get new branding, for you to work on YouTube VOD content, not just live streaming stuff. There are a lot of other really valuable ways to use that additional 2 hours. You don't need to use all for streaming. Like that's very much a Twitch thing, with having a lot of concurrent uptime on your stream. And that's the only reason that exists, is because there's no algorithm in Twitch. So the only way you get viewers is to just have insane amounts of uptime. So eventually, because you're online streaming for all these hours, somebody stops in. You don't need to do that if you're strategically looking at these other platforms where that's not a requirement, where there's an algorithm, right? So you can divide your time evenly that way and use it on your brand, improve your brand, use it to rewatch some of your content, take notes, and improve upon your delivery, improve upon your persona, your online persona. Use it to come up with better titles. In fact, I would take at least an hour of that for titles alone, because titles are huge.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer right there. I don't have too much to add to that. I think it's incredibly important, especially if you're just starting off, or like we're talking about now, trying to take an audience elsewhere, that you do spend a lot of your time developing relationships with possible viewers. And by that, I mean like showing interest in them and things like that. So yeah, I feel like what Perrin said pretty much locked it down. AWOL, do you have any disagreements on that?
Oh yeah, I don't think that building on social, audience on social. I mean, it depends on what you mean by social. I don't think that that's worth your time when you're trying to grow.
Building audience. I'm talking just engaging with your fan base and talking to your viewers on social, not trying to build up engagement or grow social, just talking to them.
Yeah, I don't think that that's worth your time. I don't think so. Not when you only have, but personally, I don't think that that's worth your time when you have 4 hours. I think that that's a big waste of time. I think the more efficient way to use your time with 4 hours would be to spend 2 hours streaming and then 2 hours creating a YouTube video. And that's it. Every day make one YouTube video, and that YouTube video talks about how you're streaming on the other platforms, plural, because you're using Restream. And then with 2 hours, you're actually playing the game that you're covering. And you can even record the YouTube video while you're streaming. So if you want to make a guide video on such and such gun that just came out in the game, while you're streaming, you go, all right, guys, while you're streaming, hey, wave hi to YouTube. I'm going to record a quick guide video while I use this gun really quick, and I'm going to throw this up on YouTube later today. You record the guide video while you're streaming. When you're done recording and you're done with the stream, you upload it to YouTube. You do your thumbnail, your title, your metadata. You release that video on YouTube, and you add a bit about, hey, if you want to join me on my live streams, I'm live on Facebook Gaming, YouTube Gaming, and Twitch every single day. Links in the description below. That is the most efficient way to spend your time. Engaging with your fans on Facebook, engaging with your fans on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, complete waste of time.
I disagree.
I think it's a complete waste of time when you only have 4 hours per day to grow, and you're trying to grow an audience.
To go through their timeline and like a couple tweets or something like that. I mean, if you can't take like 1-2 minutes to, help to engage with your viewers, then, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it takes such a short amount of time to do it that it's dumb not to do it.
I think it's a distraction. Early. I think it's a big distraction from what's actually going to make you successful. I think it's a big distraction.
I think it's how you get the most hardcore fans right away. And it's, if you look at all of the successful YouTubers, and I'm sure I'm heavily influenced by my clients too right now, but one of their strategies is engage everywhere, reply to every comment. You don't have to do that necessarily, but that is what helps them be big. That is what gets them to the top. That is what gets you all of these true fans, which, we've talked about this before. You don't need legions of fans. You don't have to have tens or hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers or whatever to technically be successful. You only need 100 or 1,000 true fans. And the only way you're going to do that is by talking to them. So the only way you're actually going to make a living off this in the shortest term possible is to talk to them and convert them into fans that will actually financially support you. And you're not going to do that without talking to them.
I agree. You talk to them while you're live streaming. It's just not time efficient for you to use your only 4 hours to talk with them on social media. You can do that maybe while you're on the toilet at work, but not during your 4 key content creation hours. But that's just my opinion.
Ask and mix that in. I can agree with that. I could agree with that compromise there.
Yeah, like while you're on lunch break at work, that's when you engage with people. When you're on the bus, when you're in between times where you can literally do nothing else and all you can do is look at your phone and maybe engage with people, that's when you should engage with people. Those 4 key hours you have per day after work or before work or whenever, when you can make content, you should only be making content. Scrolling through your Twitter feed, distraction. TikTok, distraction. Instagram, distraction. Do not surf social media at all. Only get content out the fucking door. That's all that matters. That's my opinion. I'm not saying you don't engage with your fans. Obviously you do that. You just don't do it during that key time when you can make content. It's a waste. It's just like you're wasting that prime time that you have when you have no distractions.
Get lost scrolling through Twitter and not engaging, and it's dangerous. I agree. You can easily get lost just consuming the content and wasting a good 1 to 2 hours without actually engaging. So yeah, I mean, that is a good point. If you want to maximize your productivity in that 4 hours of time, content's key. We used to say that all the time. Content is key. But that remains true here.
So Mixer streamers, quick summary. What are you going to do? You're going to spend your time making YouTube videos and streaming. And then while you're taking a dump and you're on lunch break, then you'll engage with your fans on social. Sound good. Restream to all platforms. Don't just go to one platform during this transition. That is a terrible idea because you don't know how that's going to turn out. Right? You just got wrecked by Mixer shutting down. What if you only open up a Twitch channel and your Twitch channel gets banned? There goes your entire career. Why are you going to make that mistake again? Don't make that mistake again. Learn from history, restream everywhere, be everywhere, and then you can figure out where the traction is and where the success is for you. Cool? If you enjoyed this podcast, great. Our podcast is everywhere. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.